Next, we have Mr. Rahim Buford. If you would, please come forward, give us your name and who you're with for the record. And you have 2 minutes, sir.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity, Chairman and members of the committee and Senator Bowling. I'm Rahim Buford. I am the founder and director of the Unheard Voices Outreach. I'm a native Nashvilleian, a graduate of American Baptist College, and director of bail operations with the Nashville Community Bail Fund. I've worked on the national level as a member of ICANN and as a member of Children's Defense Fund Nashville organizing team. I have also been a youth advocate. I frequently lecture at universities, conferences, and houses of worship. I've also been invited to advise and work with local governments on criminal justice reform and prison prevention programs. I was charged with felony murder in 1989 when I was 18 years old and convicted of first-degree murder in 1990. I received a life sentence with the possibility of parole. For 26 years, I was incarcerated at 7 different prisons throughout the state of Tennessee. I spent the majority of my life in prison. While I was confined, I took advantage of every opportunity available to me from a rehabilitative perspective. I went before the Board of Parole 3 times and was finally paroled in 2015. I will be on parole for the rest of my life. While I was in prison, my sister was murdered in the year of 2000. I was labeled an offender, and I became a victim. I know the pain of losing a loved one to a harsh, violent crime. I'm here because I need you to understand that had I been convicted 5 years later, I would never have this opportunity to speak to you. This opportunity to demonstrate that some people in prison change. Some people in prison over years and decades reform and transform. There are 1,515 individuals just like me who were 25 years and under at the time they committed an offense. And while I know sometimes we don't acknowledge brain science, we only acknowledge it when it benefits us in a technological manner or any other way that adds to the way in which we live our lives. But there are times when young people make bad choices, not because they are bad people, but there are influences in our lives that sometimes we just don't have control over. I took responsibility for the crime that I committed, and I pled guilty. My heart goes out to all victims, all survivors of crime, because there's nothing no one can say to quantify what a life means. We know that. But in our state, Tennessee, we have the longest life sentence probably in existence. And in the state of Tennessee, we have an opportunity to give second chances to individuals just like me. I encourage you to believe in second chances and to see that I am not special, perhaps lucky, but no more deserving than anyone else who lives in a prison today with a life sentence. Redemption and transformation is something that can happen and does happen, and mostly for individuals with life sentences. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Buford. Any questions? Senator Roberts, you recognize.
I just want to say thank you. I just deeply appreciate you being here today and sharing your story, and it's very helpful. Thank you.
All right. Any further questions for the witness? Seeing none, Mr. Buford, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So before we go out of session, Senator Lombard.
Chairman, just a question for you. Do we have anyone from the DA's conference still here?
Apparently, they're not here, and I don't think they wish to speak on the bill.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So without objection, we're now back in session. Are there any further questions for the sponsor on the bill? We have the bill properly before us. The motion is to the calendar committee. Seeing none, any objection to the question? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Senator Gardenhire? Votes aye. Senator Kyle? Votes aye. Senator Lundberg? Senator Lundberg passes. Senator Roberts? Votes aye. Senator Robinson? Votes aye. Senator Rose? Votes aye. Senator Stevens? Votes aye. Senator White? Votes no. Chairman Bell?
Aye.
Votes aye. Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes, 1 no, 1 present not voting.
7 ayes, 2 noes. Your bill moves forward to calendar.
Mr. Chairman, thank you and committee so very much on behalf of these people who are getting life with the possibility of parole. Thank you.
You're welcome, Senator Bowling. You're welcome, Senator Bowling. Then without objection, the rest of the calendar is rolled to tomorrow. Without objection, and then without objection, we are adjourned.
I was too busy crying.